Yeah, we have 2 more days, as David pointed out. In the next 48 hours, I think this orange bastard is going to display once again the fact that his presidency has been the most corrupt in the history of this republic. And look what he's leaving. This cowardly prick is running to his beach house, and he's leaving a mess of unprecedented proportions for the next administration to take care of. And still, Republicans in the House and Senate are acting like a bunch of goddamn idiots. They still will not acknowledge that this corrupt son of a bitch has just about destroyed everything that could be destroyed. He got very close to destroying democracy, didn't he? Had that orange bastard gotten another 4 years, this country would be over completely. As it is, it's going to take an enormous amount of effort by the Biden administration, by every agency in the U.S. government, by our allies overseas, and by you and by me, whatever time you and I have left on this earthly coil, to try to, if not correct, if not totally repair, ameliorate some of the damage that this son of a bitch has done. It's just horrible. Now, he is being the coward that he is. He's like these oath keepers and these 3%ers and the cucumbers and all these fucking seditious groups that are cowards down to the soles of their feet. Oh, they'll show up in the thousands with their clubs and sticks and signs and zip ties and horns sticking out of their heads. They'll do that when they know there's nobody there that's going to resist them. Why don't you cowardly pricks show up now? There are 25,000 military people waiting to just waste you. What's the matter, boys? It's not like running around the woods or attacking unarmed members of Congress, is it, you piss ants? Why don't you try something now? Seriously. The rules of engagement, as I understand them, for the military that has got the capital city in a lockdown is to protect themselves. That's all. To protect themselves. And those whom they are charged to protect and the property therewith. So, cucumbers, proud pricks, all you crazy looking fuckers, why don't you make your move now, you cowardly little bastards? You know why you won't, because of what I just said. You're cowards. However, once Trump leaves, you know, Trump was the pus-filled pimple that exploded and allowed all these germs to come out, like the so-called oath keepers and the 3%ers and the cucumbers and the proud pricks and all these, God, the boogaloo boys. Jesus Christ, can't you people come up with something a little bit more adult? It just goes to show you, once again, these are just overgrown little boys who have too much time on their hands and they want to go break shit and strut around and pretend like they are accomplishing something or doing something. They don't have the mental capacity of a fucking gnat among all of them. But what Trump has done in exploding this pus-filled pimple, he's leaving it for the rest of us to deal with. Trump is. So let me tell you a little bit about some of these pricks. From the Washington Post, there's a guy, he's a heavy metal guitarist of all things, and he is the alleged leader of a Colorado paramilitary training group, and 2 self-styled militia members from Ohio, the guitarist and the 2 militia members from Ohio. These 3 cowardly bastards have been charged with taking part in the riot on January 6th. And the FBI, partly because of the arrest of these 3 fucking disposable assholes, the FBI is ratcheting up its investigation into the role these extremist groups played in storming the building. I don't know why they have to ratchet it up. I mean, who did the FBI think was storming the building? people who were peacefully addressing Congress to air their grievances? Do you think they were exercising? Jesus Christ. Anyway, this asshole named John Schaefer, he's the heavy metal guitarist. He's from Indiana. He turned himself into the FBI yesterday, Sunday. And on January 6th, this cowardly prick was photographed inside the Capitol wearing a hat that said, Oath Keepers Lifetime Member. What oath? What oath you talking about? Your oath to evil, you fucking jerk? Now, John Schaefer, the guy I'm talking about, founded a group of masturbators called Ice Earth. And music fans, that's a heavy metal band. And that's all those guys do. If you're familiar with heavy metal, that is so fucking 1970s. Oh, come on, you guys. Or 1980s, maybe. I mean, you are a history of the worst sort. Who the fuck listens to this anymore? Except people who have the IQ of a gnat. Anyway, music fans quickly recognized him and turned the fucker in. Because of the pictures he posted on social media. Look at me, man. Fucking A, look at me. Boom, 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 boom. Look at me. Okay, we'll look at you. So this asshole's been charged with 6 counts, including engaging in an act of physical violence. Also charged in this court filing that was made public yesterday was this little prick. What is with these young cowardly boys? What, you guys can't get laid. That's part of what do you call yourselves? The unwilling virgins or anyway. His name is Robert Gieswein. Or Gieswein or something, cheeseburger. It's Gieswein, Robert Gieswein. He's 24. He lives in Cripple Creek, Colorado. And court papers say that this little shit is affiliated with an Oath Keepers-related extremist group called the 3 Percenters. You know what that is? 3 Percenters, I'll get to it in a second. Well, okay. What they're claiming is that during the American Revolution against the British, only 3% of the colonists took part in the revolution. Everybody else supported the British. Oh, Jesus Christ Almighty. Where was I? Anyway, this 24-year-old shit affiliated with this extremist group called the 3 Percenters, and he's charged with assaulting federal officers outside the Capitol with bear spray and a baseball bat. He's also charged with, quote, encouraging other rioters as they broke a window of the Capitol building, entered and then charged through the Capitol building, end quote. Now, this 24-year-old shit runs a private paramilitary training group called, you ready? The Woodland Wild Dogs. And a patch for that group was visible on a tactical vest that this 24-year-old lump of shit wore during the attack on Congress. That's according to the FBI affidavit. Now, this little shit, G-Swine, gave a media interview in which he echoed the anti-Semitic conspiracy theories, according to the affidavit. And he said his message to Congress was this little prick. He said, quote, that they need to get the corrupt politicians out of office. Pelosi, the Clintons, every single one of them. Biden, Kamala. Oh, fuck you. It's Mrs. Harris to you, you little shit. Kamala. And after Wednesday, it'll be Vice President Ma'am to you, if you ever talk to anybody again. Jesus Christ. Also arrested yesterday was Donovan Crowell, an ex-U.S. Marine, not a former one, ex. Imagine the son bitch was kicked out. And also an Army veteran named Jessica Watkins, 38 years old. She's a bartender. And she gave an interview. She told the Ohio Capital Journal that she formed the Ohio State Regular Militia in 2019. That is a unit of the Oath Keepers, the FBI said. And the FBI also added that the group has appeared at a dozen protests to, quote, protect people. Protect people? Right. Anyway, the FBI said this bartender bitch, Jessica Watkins, posted to Parlay or Parler, which is a neo-Nazi version of Twitter, a photograph of herself in uniform on January 6th, and she wrote, "Me before forcing entry in the Capitol building." Hashtag Stop the Steal, Storm the Capitol, Oath Keepers, Ohio Militia. Before forced entry into the Capitol. Well, your ass is going to prison, you dumb bitch. Now, these two, Watkins, the bartender, and Crowell, the 50-year-old ex-Marine, were among about 10 individuals recorded at the U.S. Capitol wearing combat helmets and ballistic goggles and tactical vests and Oath Keepers patches, who, according to the affidavit, quote, moved in an organized and practiced fashion and forced their way to the front of the crowd to lead the siege and the break-in, end quote. It must be from all those training sessions you had out in the fucking woods, right, boys and girls? The Washington Post adds, lawyers for the four defendants could not be immediately identified. Okay. So here we go. As the Post reports, this group of losers called the Oath Keepers and this group of psychos called the Three Percenters, and then the Proud Pricks. I don't know what these guys do. I think they are so embarrassed at their teeny weeny weenies that they put together something called the Proud Boys. It's a male chauvinist group with ties to white nationalism, right? We may have teeny weeny weenies, but we know how to play in the woods and pretend like we're soldiers. Where do these people, how do they get started? We know where they come from. How do they get started? Anyway, these groups have drawn the attention at the FBI investigating what happened on January 6th. And they're trying to determine whether these groups organized or directed the violence to block the final step in election democracy in this country, the certification of Biden's victory over the orange piece of shit. And officials have said that the Proud Pricks, in particular, are an important focus of the FBI investigation. Those are the ones that the orange lump of human waste said during a debate. All right, Proud Boys, stand by, stand away, stand over there, stand up, sit, whatever. This is the legacy that Trump is leaving behind. Up until Trump, these vermin stayed in the woodwork where they belong and used to run around out in the woods pretending like they were men. But Trump, being the carbuncle that exploded all over this country with his pussy fucking shit, Trump told them it was time to, come out of the woods, come out of the woodwork, come out of your little crawl spaces, your little diphthongs, come on out. And now we are stuck with them. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcast. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.